What's going on, guys? We're back again with our level 2 video 8.6a, talking about the relationship between on the formula of a volume of a cylinder between the area of the base and its height. Okay, so our central question for this one is how can you describe the volume formula for a cylinder in terms of base area and height? So before we get started, we have to actually look at what we're talking about. So we're talking about a cylinder. Now, for those that aren't sure, a cylinder is like our typical cans that we see that look a little something like this. Okay, so if we look at our cylinders, if we were to sit there and if we were to roll it out, we would see that we have two circles on top and bottom, and then this large piece, if we were to cut it just right here down the middle, it would end up being a long rectangle. Now we're talking about the base here, and so when we talk about bases of shapes, the easy rule of thumb is to remember that there's two of them. So if you look, we have a circle here and a circle here. So for a cylinder, our base shape is a circle. Now because we know it's a circle, then we know that we can find several different pieces for this. And something that's going to be very important is kind of what we talked about in our level 1 video, the area of a circle. And as a quick reminder, the area of a circle, the formula, is pi radius squared. That's going to be a very important piece coming, especially a little bit in this video, as well as going into our level 3 video when we find the volume of a cylinder. Okay? So knowing that a base shape is the thing that we have two of, and on this cylinder, our base shape of a cylinder is a circle, that's going to help us out tremendously when we're going through the rest of our volume units. So let's talk about it. How do you find the volume of a cylinder? So the formula to find the volume of a cylinder is actually written V equals big B H. And we can actually use this formula for many different shapes rather than just cylinders, but this is going to be our base formula for a cylinder. Now something that's very important for us to know is what big B is. Big B represents the area of the base. So now you see why it's important to know that on a shape what the base shape is. And on this case, a cylinder, the base shape is a circle. So the formula that we would plug in for B would be that pi r squared. This is the very important piece that we'll plug in. H represents the height of the figure or shape. Okay, but on this one we don't necessarily really have to find B, it's just knowing the relationship and knowing what the formula is saying. That the volume of a cylinder with base times height, all it's saying is that we find the area of this and we cut it into however many height pieces there are. And that's what ends up creating that volume. So that's how we get our volume formula. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at some examples. The base area of a cylindrical tank is 19.5 inches squared. So we're talking B. B equals area of the base. Okay, so our base area is 19.5 inches squared. The height of the tank is 12 inches. What is the volume? So we're looking for the volume. We know that volume is big BH. Well, lucky for us, they gave us that base area and they gave us our height. So to find the volume, we're going to take that area of the base, which is 19.5 inches squared, and multiply it by the height, which was 12 inches. And if we go to our trusted calculator, go 19.5 times 12, we see that the volume of this shape is 234 inches. But real quick, because we have inches squared and inches squared, or sorry, inches squared times inches, we're doing inches times inches times inches. So if we see three of them in a row, that means inches cubed. So the volume of our cylindrical tank is 234 inches cubed. If we look at our second example, the volume of a cylindrical can is 1,045 inches cubed. The height of the can is 19 inches. What is the area of the base? So this one we're going backwards. we know that we're going to have our volume formula, which is volume equals big B times H. But this time we're actually looking for that base area. So we know V, which is 1,045 inches cubed. We do not know that area of the base, and we know that that height is 19 inches. So if we just go through and plug in what we know, we can put in 1,045 for V, still don't know B, we know that H is 19. Now if we go back to our equations unit that we did earlier in the year, at this point this has just become a normal one-step equation. We have to solve for our variable, which is big B. So since this represents multiplication, divide both sides by 19, big B equals 1,045 divided by 19 gives us a base area of 55. Now because we're talking area, we're going to do 55 inches squared. Alright guys, that's a quick intro into our 8.6a level 2 unit on talking about the relationship between the base area and height of a cylinder. Go ahead and make sure your notes are filled out, jump into your practice, and then when you're ready you can take your quiz. If at any point you run into a question or any trouble, raise your hand, I'll be right there to help you.